Welcome to the first episode of Rat Salad Review. My name is Wayne.
I'm Chad.
Greg.
And yeah, that's it. And we're missing Ken. He will be here next week, hopefully. We're supposed to have 4 of us, but he's got a family emergency, so hopefully everything goes well. And we are here to review Alice in Chains' Rainier Fog. All right. How is everybody today?
Doing good, man.
Good, good, good.
I'm having deja vu right now, though.
Really?
Yeah. Something seems suspiciously similar about all this.
Seems like I've been here before?
Yeah.
Like that?
Seems like I've been here before? Seems like I've been here before? Seems like I've been here before? Nobody? Nothing?
I can't remember the rest of the chorus.
I think that's it.
I know what you're referencing.
All right. Rainier Fog. Very good Alice in Chains album. Here's some tidbits about the album. It is the 6th album by Alice in Chains, released August 24th. The title was inspired by Mount Rainier, a volcano that overlooks Seattle in the metropolitan area. The title track is a tribute to the Seattle music scene. It is the band's 3rd album with William Duvall, who is the lead singer and also shares the duties with Jerry Cantrell, who was also in a band, Blast? Is that what you said, Greg? Chad?
Yeah.
And what was the other one? Neon Christ or something you said?
Yeah. Yep, Neon Christ.
Yeah, yeah. And I would imagine he's not doing those bands anymore, right?
I doubt it.
Yeah, I don't think so. And it's the first Alice in Chains album recorded in 22 years to be recorded in their hometown of Seattle. That's kind of interesting.
I believe they recorded it in the same studio as the self-titled album from '95 too.
I was just going to get to that. Were you reading my notes?
No.
Can you see my screen?
No, I can't see you looking at Wikipedia over there.
That's not Wikipedia. That's not Wikipedia. I know all this from the top of my head. I wouldn't use that. That's fake news, Wikipedia.
Fake news.
You can't trust that site.
No, anybody can edit it.
Yeah, just like I'm going to edit you.
Ah.
And I'm going to make it look like I said this. The album was partially recorded at the Seattle Studio X, the same studio where the band recorded their 1995 self-titled album. Believe that?
I'm shocked.
Shocked? Never heard about that, did you? You didn't even know.
No idea.
Rainier Fog is also Alice in Chains' 3rd collaboration with producer Nick, I can't pronounce that last name, making their first time recording 3 full-length albums with the same producer. The One You Know, So Far Under, and Never Fade were released as singles. I didn't know that because I saw one of the singles and I was like, I don't really care for it. I heard the other single, I was like, I almost wasn't going to buy the album right away because I wasn't crazy about some of the songs. But anyway, regardless of what I thought, Rainier Fog debuted at number 12 on the Billboard 200 charts. It also debuted at number 1 on the Billboard's top rock albums, alternative albums, and hard rock albums charts. The album became Alice in Chains' first top 10 in the UK, peaking at number 9. So that's pretty cool. Would have been nice if Lane was still alive to have been part of that, but what are you going to do? Drugs are bad, okay?
Okay, Mr. Mackey.
Okay. Drugs are bad, okay?
I'm sorry, Mr. Mackey, okay?
Don't you think that's funny, Chad?
I don't watch South Park, but yeah, drugs are bad, and I don't do them.
I don't watch South Park either. I haven't seen that show in years.
You guys both got something wrong with you. It's hilarious.
Oh, I can't watch TV. No time for that. I'm busy here writing reviews from Wikipedia. I mean, getting all this information from my head.
That's okay. I'll have a TV party with Henry Rollins.
There we go. Now we're talking.
We should review a Black Flag album once. We will. We like you said. We were talking in the chat about doing newer albums. For a while.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's a better idea. Just so that gives more notoriety to us, and you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Because nobody's going to be searching like an old album, just randomly.
Yeah.
People are going to be trying to steal the new Smashing Pumpkins album off YouTube or something. So they'll be looking, typing that in, and then we'll pop up maybe if I put the right tags in there.
Or they want to check out reviews before they buy it or whatever.
Exactly. So we'll see what happens. So anyway, first song, The One You Know. Little information about that song. Jerry Cantrell said that he was inspired by David Bowie by the hit song Fame. He wrote the song around the time that David Bowie died. So that's some pretty good information, because if you listen to the song, I can actually hear a little bit of Fame in the song.
Really?
Yeah. Especially in the like in the first verse. It's kind of got that groove with the
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it does.
It's kind of similar to Fame, I thought, anyway. So I can feel that.
Fame's a great song. I love that song.
Yeah,
me too.
I'm a Bowie fan.
I love Bowie.
Yeah, none of his later stuff though, but the earlier stuff is really good.
You didn't like the last two albums?
They were okay. They weren't bad.
Oh man, I really like the second to last one. I can't remember what it's called.
Better than the stuff before that, like the electronic stuff. That's kind of weird.
I like a little bit of all of it. I don't like the really, really, really early stuff, like the almost like folk type of stuff.
Oh yeah, no, yeah. That stuff's really weird.
I did hear an interesting thing. I don't know, it was an interview or a video I saw or something where Kirk Hammett was talking about how he ripped off. What's the album? Is it called Hunky Dory? Is that what it's called? The Bowie album?
Yeah.
There's a song on there. Let me see if I can find it. And there's a breakdown in there that he completely stole for the breakdown riff in Master of Puppets. And when you hear that song, I'm trying to find out which song it is. It's Andy Warhol. When you listen to that part of that song, sure enough, man, that is exactly what he totally ripped it off.
What song on Master of Puppets?
Master of Puppets.
Oh, it is Master of Puppets. Oh, really?
Yeah, right after the when they build it up, and then right at that part is
really?
a David Bowie song.
Well, now I'm gonna have to go back and listen to that.
Yeah, Andy Warhol.
Well, that's interesting.
Yep.
Wow, didn't know. Had no idea.
Yeah, me neither.
Let's see, what else did I write here? I didn't care for The One You Know after they released it in the video. I already said that before. It seemed kind of boring and bland, but after getting the album and listening to it for a few weeks. When did we say we were going to do this? Like 2-3 weeks ago?
Yeah.
Weeks, yeah.
So I've been listening to this album like nonstop, just so I don't forget it.
Yeah, same here. And, well, that's kind of a problem I had with some of the songs that didn't stand out a little bit more. It does kind of have one tone it sticks with consistently, and it works for it. It's just some of it isn't very memorable.
Right, yeah, because you forget some of it because it's just all kind of samey-ish.
Yeah.
But, after listening to the album for a while, I really like the song. It's got a catchy chorus, and like I said, I can definitely hear that Bowie influence, especially in the verses.
But what's funny is I picked up on the funky line, but I didn't place it as Fame, and that's my favorite era of Bowie right there, from Man Who Sold the World up to Young Americans.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, after that, he gets kind of like weird.
Yeah.
I mean, it's still got Heroes. That's a good song, but like the songs on the albums are kind of
Heroes is good. Station to Station is actually a good album. I don't really care for most of his Berlin trilogy.
No, that's...
Let's Dance wasn't bad.
Yeah,
No,
I like that one.
That's
I
some
like
good
that
stuff on it. Yep, definitely.
I like Low, too. About half of Low.
Yeah, true.
Got some really, really cool ambient stuff on there.
Yeah, the stuff he did with Eno on that's pretty good, but when he was by himself, like you said, half the album.
Yeah.
So what do you guys feel feelings on the one you know.
Go ahead, Greg.
I liked it. It's definitely not the strongest song on the album, but it's a good opener. But it does take a good minute or so for the song to really get going. But
Right, yeah.
It's got some really catchy riffs in it, and I like that a lot. And the chorus is great, like you mentioned.
Yeah, it does take a minute to get in there, but and it wasn't my favorite on the album, but then it ended up being, I listened to the album almost 4 times now,
Mm-hmm.
and it ended up being kind of one of the highlights for me.
Yeah.
The chorus is catchy, but it's also kind of I don't know. Alice in Chains does this thing, or Cantrell, where they I don't know if it's, a lot of their stuff is like in a minor key, or they have some weird changes in there that are kind of almost, they have this like certain darkness to them.
Mm-hmm.
It's not enlightening at all.
No, this is the whole album's actually very dark.
Yeah, and I mean there's songs like Ingrid Share is a good example from Dirt, that kind of, not the chorus, but the verses that kind of get really almost kind of like chaotically insane sounding, but not really. I'm not sure how to explain it, but it's very non-traditional.
Yeah,
put it that
definitely.
way. But I liked it.
Yeah, it definitely has their signature thing
Sure.
that they do on that song.
Yeah. When you put it on, you're like, okay, yeah, this is Alice in Chains.
Yeah.
Are we going song by song, or are we just?
Yeah, why not? Why not?
Oh boy, I wasn't prepared for that.
Oh God.
I mean,
You didn't write
either.
notes? I thought you wrote notes.
I did write notes.
I did. I wrote what highlights, and then the rest of the notes are right here, but I didn't break down each song.
Well, whatever. Like some songs, I just wrote. I didn't write too much. A couple songs I did. I actually wrote a few things.
Yeah.
But we'll just do whatever.
There's like 3 or 4 I didn't really like, so I didn't write much about them at all.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, next song is Rainier Fog. That is a tribute to the Seattle scene. I said that before. That launched bands such as Alice in Chains themselves, Soundgarden, Mother Love Bone, Mudhoney, Screaming Trees, and Nirvana. My voice just cracked there. The original demo for the title track was recorded at Cantrell's house in Los Angeles with the help of Guns N' Roses bassist Duff McKagan. The lyric "With You Here, We Shared a Space That's Always Half Empty" is about Lane Staley and Mike Starr. That's kind of weird. Like they've been gone for a while, and they
long time.
About them. But you know what? I really never studied the other albums, so I would imagine there's stuff about them in those albums as well.
I didn't pay attention to it. The first time I heard the 2 of them was over the past 2 weeks.
Right.
Well, I think it makes perfect sense to me, considering the album is kind of an homage to, I think, more than just them who have, died and stuff from drug overdose. So it makes sense to have their own band members.
Yeah.
Reference to in the song lyrics. I can't remember who else they sing about in there. It's just what I heard, that they sung about some other, people who I don't know if it was Seattle specific, like Chris Cornell.
I think "Never Fade" is supposed to be about Chris Cornell.
Okay, yeah, but I know.
Actually, I think is the best song on the album. But sorry.
I think on the album and that's probably why it just as a whole, not only they probably pay homage to not just the Seattle music scene, but all of those musicians that they have lost that made such an impact in the music world through in particular through the like the early mid 90s.
Mm-hmm. Yep, definitely. Yeah, this is another good song. I like this one. It picks up. Gets a little faster because the first song's a little dragging on a little bit, and then this song definitely picks the album up a lot. Again, one of my favorites on the album. Another one that has a catchy chorus, even the verse is catchy. That's about it. I mean, I had the song stuck in my head for a while, especially like the guitar part. I love the how the guitar goes in this song. That that thing that I can't even explain it.
Yeah, the riffs are great in this song. This is one of my favorite ones from the album too. And
What song are we talking about?
Rain or Fog.
Title track.
Keep Up.
Oh, okay. I didn't hear you say the name of that song.
I did too. I did.
He did actually.
You want me to rewind it? Oh no, I can't.
Oh boy.
Oh, I thought we were talking about Red Giant.
No, we skipped like he's talking about Never Fade, and then I don't know what happened. But we're talking about Rain or Fog.
Okay.
We went
on
off
the second track.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. But big difference between the opening song and this one, though. It's just that the different parts flow so much better into each other than I thought. I'd have rather this open the album, actually. I think it's a much stronger song.
Yeah, I think so, too. Definitely. What about you, Chad?
I can't remember what the song was.
Do I have to play it?
Sure, yeah. Play a snippet, and I'll
play the snippet here. Let me get it. I was listening to this before, just so I can get a little reminder. Hear it?
Mm-hmm. Now I'm not hearing it. For some reason, it cut out.
Yeah, it faded out. Oh, wait.
Really? Nothing?
Oh yeah, this is more like to me that song is like it's almost like a power pop.
Yeah, I could see that. Definitely.
It's got a real melodic, catchy.
Everything is catchy throughout the whole song.
Yeah,
like I said.
And it's definitely a standout in the whole album because no other song is really like that on the album.
No, not at all. Well, Never Fade is a little similar, but not as like a poppy as this one, like you said.
Mm-hmm. And that riff, excuse me, that riff is almost kind of pumpkins in it ish, like maybe after they started getting a little bit more poppy after Siamese Dream and stuff.
Yeah, I could definitely hear that. Yep. True.
Made me think of Sabbath a little bit, actually.
The complete opposite of what I'm saying.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Third song, Red Giant. It sounds like something that would fit right on the Dirt album, I think.
Yeah, it really does.
It's just now I got to remind myself. It's
it's another one where the intro or the beginning of it, if you will, takes a little while to get moving, but that's definitely one of the ones that's most similar to earlier Alice in Chains.
Yeah, it starts off a little slow, whatever, but definitely you can hear all the older influences from the older albums on that song. Definitely.
It's got that nice deep set doomy, but yet manic at the same time groove to the rhythm of the song. I like that a lot about it.
Yeah, definitely. What about you, Chad?
Yeah, I thought it was a good song. For sure. I don't really have anything special to say about it, but
no, I didn't either. There's really nothing to say about that song. It's just kind of.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like Alice in Chains.
Yeah, definitely. That's the main theme of this whole album.
Yeah,
it all pretty much sounds like Alice.
Yeah, it really does. Overall, the album. I'm not the biggest Alice in Chains album fan. Mm-hmm. If I do listen to them at all, it's usually just Dirt.
Right.
And sometimes that's for nostalgia, but. If I was a big Alice in Chains fan, I would probably really, really like this record because when I listen to it, that's all I hear is, of course, Staley's missing, but I mean, the melodies and the songwriting, everything, it's all there.
It's all still there. Yeah.
So if I were a big fan, I would assume that, people who really like Alice in Chains are just really digging this album.
Yeah.
All over the place.
Oh, yeah.
It sounds like them.
My friend from work, he's a huge Alice in Chains fan, and he actually first heard this album, and he was like, I don't really like it, because he liked the last two. And it took him a while to open up to this album, but he likes it a lot now. But like you said, Chad, it just sounds like Alice in Chains. They never really changed their sound. I mean, they did, but they got a little heavier, but you can still tell it's Alice in Chains.
Yeah.
Even with the singer change,
Yes, for sure.
Yep.
Edit me out because my wife's calling.
Oh, she's calling. I can't edit you out. Just hit mute.
All right.
Well, we can listen to your phone call. I mean, that's a good show.
Yeah, it isn't live.
All right, so we'll go on with Adam, I guess, and then we'll go back to him.
Sure. What the hell was I going to say?
What the hell's he doing?
Oh, yeah. Talking on the phone under the desk.
Next song is what?
Just we were talking about the vocals with William Duvall and all that, and one of the only real negatives I had about this record, or really this version of Alice in Chains, and I do like his voice. Don't get me wrong. My only real issue is just that they're missing that dynamic a little bit they had with Lane. I don't think they could ever recapture it, but it's just William Duvall and Jerry Cantrell are very close to each other, whereas Lane was a little bit.
Right, exactly. That's like I said before, you're never going to find somebody that's going to replace Lane Staley. Nobody sings like him.
No.
Nobody. That's like replacing, Christ, I can't even think off the top of my head. I was going to say Jeff Tate, but they replaced Jeff Tate in Queensryche.
Yeah, I was gonna say Rob Halford, but then I was like, shit, Ripper Owens. Never mind.
He did a pretty decent job.
You know, he did. Jugulator is actually one of my favorite Priest albums. That's a really good record. They came out strong with that, and
it's
Demolition.
Okay. I don't like Demolition's terrible.
Demolition sucks, but it's not his fault. It's because they tried to write 20 different songs in 20 different genres, and none of it worked, and it didn't come together.
Yeah, the only song I like is the last one. I think it's Cathedral Spires, or am I thinking of the other album?
That's on Jugulator.
Oh, whatever the last song is on Demolition, I like that one.
I can't remember.
That album's terrible. Just terrible.
It really is.
Really, really bad songwriting. I can't write for shit myself, but those lyrics are bad.
No,
really.
It is. There's only like 2 of their albums I outright, 3 maybe, that I outright dislike, and that's one of them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
the other, number 2 would definitely be Nostradamus. That was a total miscalculation on their part, I feel like.
See, now I like that one.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't think it worked for them.
It doesn't work for them because it's a concept album.
Yeah.
But the songs, they're still pretty good. I try to not look at it as a concept album, just look at it as a Judas Priest album.
I suppose. I still don't think some of the music's all that great, though.
I like the music. I don't know.
And then Ram It Down, I've never really cared for, other than one of the songs.
Yeah.
You can really tell it is what it is. Subpar tracks that they cut from Turbo.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. It's just, that album has like nothing on it.
It's just monotonous.
Yep. Johnny Be Good, right?
Oh, God. I think it's funny people love Blood Red Skies so much because
it is a good song.
It is a good song, but when you've got Out in the Cold to compare it to, and then like When the Night Comes Down, and what I can't remember the song on Painkiller I'm trying to think of right now, but
is it Blood Red Skies?
A Touch of Evil.
Touch of Evil, yes.
Yeah. When you got songs like that surrounding it directly to compare it to, it loses a lot of its luster to me. I mean, it's not a bad song, but I wouldn't go so far as a lot of people do to call it an underrated ballad. I mean, it's popped up in the set list occasionally. It's not like it's forgotten, but there's a reason it takes a backseat to other songs.
See, when they put out albums, I don't compare them. Well, sometimes I do compare them to the last album, but I don't know. It's a completely different song to me, I like that song. The album sucks, though.
Yeah. And, well, I would like Blood Red Skies a lot better if it wasn't for those horrible electronic drums on that record.
Yeah. Well, they had that on a lot of albums. How the hell did we get to Judas Priest, by the way?
Yeah, and
the singer changing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess we should go back to Alice in Chains. We can discuss Judas Priest another time, but
it doesn't even fit with Alice in Chains.
No,
Nothing to do with Alice in Chains.
Well, one thing to kind of tie it in, I will say classic metal, and this isn't my original quote. Somebody else said this years ago, but they said one of the things that always stood out about like Alice in Chains and Soundgarden is in the face of, even like Nirvana and Sonic Youth and other bands that were going a little bit more mainstream with what they were doing, even though it was all rock. It's, not a child of heavy metal, but certainly its bastard cousin or what have you.
Definitely.
That they actually, after hair metal and all that, were daring to put like Sabbath back into metal, basically heavier guitars and the deeper grooves and things like that. And that's one thing I still think is true, and that's why I've always liked Alice in Chains a lot. They were definitely one of the heavier bands.
Oh yeah, definitely. I never really considered them grunge, until they got lumped into the whole grunge thing.
Yeah, them and Soundgarden I never thought of as grunge until somebody had said that to me later, and I'm like, okay, I guess, but
right, yeah. Yeah, Soundgarden, they were always like heavy metal to me because they had the guitar solos and stuff. Especially Outshined and what the hell's the other one? Rusty Cage.
Yeah,
that's metal.
Well, even if you listen to their first EP, Screaming Life, Hunted Down, and all that, that's super heavy. It's a little punkier than their later stuff, but it's got more in common with Black Sabbath than it does Noise Rock or the Raspberries or Sonic Youth or anything like that.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Well, no, I don't like a lot of grunge. I can't fake it. Nirvana's got a few songs I think are okay, and there's some Mudhoney that's all right, but overall,
and really, who else is there?
Yeah, that is pretty much it. Come to think of it, I said come.
The Fiend is staring us down. If only he could talk.
Yeah, right.
The stories he could tell. He just got a new mask. What the hell? Oh, he got the Michael Myers mask. Chad.
Yeah, he did. That's cool. I wouldn't mind getting one of those.
Yeah. I like the company that makes those masks. They also make, you probably don't like the band Ghost.
Not particularly. I thought they were okay at first, but that's cool that they make ghost masks, but I still say they totally ripped that image off from Kreator's Terrible Certainty album cover.
Yeah, I could see that a little bit. Definitely.
Oh, a little bit. I think I have that sitting here, as a matter of fact. Sure. Oh, boy.
Uh-oh. Yeah, I can definitely see that. But they didn't rip the music off. Just the.
Oh no, not the music. I'm just talking about the skull faces.
Yeah. But there's also another band that dresses like that too. Some indie band, I think.
Oh really?
Yeah. I don't know who came first. I have no idea.
I'm not sure. I don't know.
But anyway, I'm a big Ghost fan, and I like the masks. Oh yes, yeah, yeah. I'll definitely look at the guy, the one on the left, the second one. Definitely looks.
Oh
like
yeah,
Martin. Yeah. They all kind of do. Yep. The screen froze.
Not that. I mean, when I say ripped off, I don't mean like ripped it off purposely for profit or maliciously. I think it's more of a tribute. But it was just the first time I saw them, I was like, looks a lot like Kreator's album cover.
It's possible because this. What the hell is this? Here's a gift. Oh, what is this?
Remaining time, 10 minutes.
They have removed the 40-minute time limit on your first group meeting. Love it. Wow. So we have unlimited time, I guess.
Oh, nice.
That's nice. I don't know why they did that. Wow, this is a long phone call.
Yeah, I know.
Well, let's go to the next song.
Yep. Yeah, fine with me.
Fly. It's the semi-acoustic song. The first acoustic song on the album.
And that reminded me a lot of old Alice in Chains, too. And this is another one of my favorite songs on the record. You know, the way it mixes in the acoustic, it evokes a lot of memories of sap and dirt and that kind of period in time. And the self-titled.
Yeah, definitely. That's actually pretty much what I wrote. Sounds like a song that could have been on dirt. Reminds me of Down the Hole a little bit. Actually reminds me of another song off the Black is the New Blue, or no, Blue is the New Black. Whatever the name of that album is. I'm tired.
Black Turns into Blue.
Black Turns into Blue, yes. There's a song on there. It was on the radio all the time. I just can't think of the name of it, but it sounds very similar to that song, whatever that song is.
I know what you're talking about, but I'm not familiar with that record enough to remember the name of it.
I'm actually surprised that this song wasn't a single.
You know, me too. It's funny because I was thinking that this is so much better than the one you know.
Yeah, I would say so, because the one you know is a single. So Far Under is a single, and Never Fade, and this is definitely better than So Far Under.
Oh yeah, way better. If I was doing singles, I'd have done Never Fade, this song, and Rainier Fog. Honestly, I think they really lost the plot with the singles they picked from this one. Man. And in a couple cases, I kind of see why they did what they did, because the one you know is definitely pushed towards radio play a little bit, but it's
definitely
just not as good of a song compared to Fly, Never Fade, and even I can't remember the name of the other song I'm thinking of right now, but Drone, which we'll get to in a minute, even that's way better than the one you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. Chad's back.
Sorry, guys.
Everything good?
Yes, very good.
Right, good. Well, we didn't get to much of the album yet because we got off into a rant about Judas Priest.
Okay.
And Kreator.
Kreator and Ghost, and we're admiring your Fiend mask. Stuff up there.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm all about the Misfits.
Yeah. Where's the Michael Myers mask?
Right there above me on I call it Michelle Myers because it's on the nude female mannequin.
Yep, the bust.
Oh, is that what happened to it after Mannequin 2?
Is anybody gonna see the new Halloween?
Oh, dude! Oh, I can't wait.
Yeah,
exactly. Me too.
Yeah,
I saw got kind of like mixed reviews though.
Really?
Yeah, I was reading something the other day, and some people said it has some like nostalgia in it, but like, do you really want that in the new movie? You know,
it's got to be better than C4, 5, 6, 7.
I mean, I get that.
Too.
Yeah, I get that, but you have to remember too. These are test audience viewing rough cuts. You know, they use them to make edits to the movie and cut it down and make it more acceptable. I guess I'll say, make it better.
Right.
So I don't really pay attention to reviews of test screenings too much, because a lot of the time stuff they'll complain about is just completely cut out of the movie by the time it comes out 3 months later.
Yeah, like I said, the one review was like it had too much nostalgia in it, but don't you kind of want that in that movie?
Well, yeah, especially since it's supposed to be a direct sequel to the first one. He must have forgotten to make dinner or something. Look at that.
Oh, boy. He's in trouble. He's in the doghouse tonight.
Yeah,
I told you to make the spaghetti with the meatballs, and you didn't do it.
All I wanted was one Pepsi. Just one Pepsi. And you didn't leave it for me.
How rude. I'm going to text while I'm on here, too.
That's okay. I did that myself earlier.
That's okay. Oh, here we go. We're going up again. Up and down. All right. Next song, Drone. Yep.
I love this song. Really has a lot of the heavy metal Black Sabbath influence in this.
Mm-hmm.
Really doomy type song.
Yeah, definitely. You know who was on this song? They played the acoustic guitar. What the hell was I trying to say? Chris DeGarmo from Queensryche.
Really? Was he?
Yeah. They're actually, he's friends with pretty much Alice in Chains. Which
that makes sense.
Yeah, and I was talking to the friend at work the other day about it, and I think he was the one that mentioned that he was Chris DeGarmo was in a band with the other guys from Alice in Chains, with the drummer.
Oh,
And,
really?
Yeah, and the bass player. And then the guy from the band Sponge, the singer, Sponges.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They were in a band together.
Huh, I never knew that.
Yeah, I guess it was while while Alice in Chains broke up for a while there.
Okay.
I think they only did one little EP. I listened to it on YouTube. Didn't sound that great.
Yeah.
It is what it is. But it was kind of interesting just to hear that they were doing something else.
Yeah, no, definitely it would be interesting to hear. And I've checked out Jerry's solo albums for the same reason. There's some good stuff there.
Yeah. But Drone, another song that has a typical old Alice in Chains feel to it. Not too different than everything else that they do.
No, I think the energy on this one's a little bit more from certain other songs. So this one really drives with that bass line.
Yeah, definitely.
It's got them nice, thick, sludgy riffs.
Yep. After that, we have Deaf Ears, Blind Eyes. This is my least favorite song.
Me too. I was going to say I tried to write something about this other than I don't like it and I can't remember it, but I don't like it and I can't remember anything about it.
Right. I'm trying to think right now. Let me see. Oh, yeah. This song doesn't do anything. It doesn't go anywhere.
It just repeats itself constantly for 4 minutes.
And if I'm correct, I think this is the one of the songs on this album. It sounds like they're mumbling. They don't even sing the lyrics. They're just mumbling, and I don't know if it's the way it mashed with the music or something, but you can't hear anything that they're saying.
I think that is this song.
Oh, I wrote here. It's not a terrible song. Wouldn't skip it, but it's just. If I listened to the whole album, I wouldn't skip it, but it's just a bland song.
Right.
So that's one song I don't really care for.
Yeah.
But,
well, I mean, I wouldn't skip it either. It's listenable enough where you can listen to it in.
Yeah, if you listen to the whole album, keep
on.
There's no reason to turn it off.
It's just
not that long,
you won't remember it.
No, not at all. Definitely not. It's not something you'll go back to. After that, Maybe. It's another acoustic song. Starts off pretty slow. Picks up for the chorus section. I like the chorus. Good song.
I think the chorus is really the only redeeming part of it. I mean, it's just...
it has that weird verse to it, right?
Yeah.
Just kind of doesn't fit with the song, and then the chorus brings it back up, and then it goes back to the verse again, and it's
Yeah, it doesn't seem to fit together. It's odd how they did it. It's weird that it made the album. It doesn't sound right to me. I'm kind of surprised.
So it sounds like they had two different songs, and they just blended them together or something.
Yep, exactly.
Just doesn't work. But it's still not a bad song because, like I said, the chorus makes the song 100 times better.
It's got points to it that are good. It's just one of the less memorable ones on here.
Yeah, definitely. After that is So Far Under. William Duvall wrote that one. He also played the guitar solo.
Oh, really?
Yeah. He explained that the song is about feeling completely up against it, outnumbered, surrounded, facing seemingly unbeatable odds, and being really pissed off about it. I also wrote about this is the album picks up here, actually.
Yep, yeah,
I think. After those two songs that kind of or skippable in a way, this definitely picks up. It's kind of similar to the one I think, right?
It is.
A little similar to that one.
A little better than that, though, I would have to say.
Yeah. And also, too, I noticed that it's very strange. It's actually kind of creepy how in the verses you can almost hear Lane singing. You
can. Just the tone of the song has that angst to it. And you're right about that.
I don't know who's doing it, but there's kind of that typical Lane sound that he does.
Yeah.
And it's in there. I don't know if they had a recording of of this song somehow that they worked on. But he's definitely in there. There's no way that can't be him. Unless Jerry Cantrell's like really good at imitations.
Maybe they could have gotten that guy, what's his name, Don Rickles, that used to do impressions.
I don't think he's still alive.
Pretty sure he's been dead for like 20 years, but
I don't think he's still alive. Might be impossible.
Hey, man, dead people show up in commercials all the time. You know, you got Vincent Price out there floating around on urinal cakes telling you about the horrors of an unfresh bowl.
That is true. That is very true. Could be a Mandela effect. He might not be dead.
Yeah.
Do you know what a Mandela effect is? I don't have to go through that.
No, I know exactly what you're talking about, yeah.
A lot of people. I try to talk to people about that today at work, and I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear about that. Okay. You don't want to learn.
Nobody does. They don't want their view of the world questioned in any way.
Nope. I got one person though, because I was telling them about the magic mirror thing. Mirror on the wall.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
And how it's a really magic mirror on the wall.
Mm-hmm.
And then they were kind of like whatever. And then I said one about Shazam, the movie Shazam. Remember Sinbad?
Yeah.
And
unfortunately.
Then, and then everybody thought he had a movie called Shazam. That movie never happened, but people remember it happening.
No, Kazam, I think, is his name in that movie.
His name might have been Kazam, but people remember Shazam. But there never was a movie Kazam or Shazam, so...
Yeah, there was, where he was a genie.
No, it wasn't a movie.
Yeah, it was.
Yes, but it wasn't about him. Like, it wasn't called Shazam. He was just part of the movie or a TV show or something.
No, the movie's literally called Kazam. This little kid finds a fucking enchanted jam box in the hood.
I watched it today just so I would remember. So
okay.
But now you make me feel like an idiot.
Who cares? It's a kid's movie that Shaq's in. It's not like it's ever going to come up again.
It might. You never know.
That's a movie. That's a movie I'd have a hard time watching high, even, man. That's just terrible filmmaking.
Everything old is new again, so you never know.
Yeah, that's true. I did end up watching, they were doing a Star Wars marathon on one of the upper channels the other day, one of those movie channels. I ended up watching those terrible made-for-TV Ewok adventures they did back in the 80s.
I used to love those, though, when I was a little kid.
So did I.
Definitely. I couldn't get enough of that shit.
You know what I noticed, though? They don't even use the same puppets or costumes in the Ewok specials. They must have had, like, way less money, because if you look at the background characters, there's voices, but none of the mouths ever move.
Really?
Yeah.
That's weird. I would never even notice that. You know, I wouldn't care when I was little. Who cares?
Oh, no, I wouldn't have noticed it.
Movie, you know?
Yeah, no, I loved it when I was a kid, especially the one with the witch and the... I don't know why there was a witch in Star Wars, but...
I don't even remember that.
It was the sequel to the first one where they crash into the moon and the little blonde girls running around with the Ewoks.
Yeah, I have no idea what the hell you're even talking about.
Yeah, that's okay. Anyway, how the hell did we get on this topic?
I don't know. We seem to just keep drifting off because Chad just keeps going on the phone and... Oh, God. What a debut.
Yeah, I know.
Might have to do this over.
Yeah, we might have to. People are going to think we don't have our crap together, though.
It's funnier that it's like this, really.
True. Well, at least, you know, this way we don't have to worry about Alice in Chains ever bothering to watch it.
No, they're never going to watch this. They're going to turn it off the first second they see our faces. You kidding me?
Yep.
These guys don't know what they're talking about. Click. Really don't. Just doing this for the hell of it, really.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, well, you've got a pretty eclectic taste in music, too. I mean, I'd like to think I look at albums pretty objectively most of the time, but if there's stuff I don't like, I can't just suffer through for the sake of the music.
Yeah, it's going to be tough when somebody picks something I don't like. But it'll be fun. It'll be fun.
Like I said, the only two things I outright refuse are the B-52s and country music.
Yeah, we're not going there, so don't worry. There's no reason to even go to either one of those. No, we're not going there. All right. Next song, after about that hour rant.
Yes.
Never Fade. One of my favorite songs on the album. This is Duvall's major composition on this album. He wrote the lyrics inspired by the deaths of his grandmother, and like you said before, the death of lead vocalist from Soundgarden, Chris Cornell.
Mm-hmm.
Again, this is one of my favorite songs off the album. Verses definitely sound like something Lane would have done. It's definitely old Alice in Chains feel to it. The chorus is a little different. It's not something they would typically do. I mean, they always have like a singable chorus, but this, for some reason, that doesn't sound like an Alice in Chains chorus, but it's a good chorus.
It's almost an anthem rock chorus to it, honestly, but it's great. It works well in the song. The tone of the vocals in this, the way they're layered, is amazing. Everything's in like perfect harmony. I mean, it's just a riff that'll get caught in your head for days, and the chorus. I really think this is the best song on the record.
Definitely. Yeah, if I would have heard this song first, I would have been more excited for the album, but for some reason I just missed it.
Yeah, like I said, I hadn't even thought about them in years until we first started talking about all this, and I did like this record a lot. You know, it really surprised me how much it still sounded like Alice in Chains.
Yeah, definitely. I guess he's never coming back.
I guess not. He kind of pointed the camera up at either that or he's jerking it angrily under the desk, in which case I don't want to see it. But.
Well, the camera's not shaking, so although mine is.
People are worse than spider monkeys. But,
All right. The last track on the album, I should say, is 7 minutes long. Does not feel like a 7-minute long song.
No.
Not at all.
The structure to it's kind of typical for this type of ballad, I would say, but they really do something special with it. I mean, it still sort of fits in with that melancholy tone that a lot of the album has, but even though this is a ballad, it's not like what was that other slower song? Maybe or something like that.
Yeah, maybe. Yep.
Yeah, it doesn't ever hit the wall at some point like that does. This keeps going the whole time. It's got a nice tone, a nice feel to it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it kind of just stays that like straight line or whatever you would say. Like it doesn't do much.
No.
It's an awesome song. It doesn't feel like a 7-minute long song whatsoever. It goes by pretty quick, actually. And
it does.
Yeah,
great closer.
Yeah, awesome closer for an album, just in general. Really, That's what you want. You know, it's definitely a song that you want for a closer of an album. The verses are actually kind of haunting the way they sing them.
They are. I wrote what I write here. Creepy moaning vocals, almost. Yeah,
definitely. And the chorus kind of like changes that around. It's like almost like an uplifting kind of chorus in a way.
It does, and the vocals get a little bit clearer. They don't have I mean, it's still there because it's sort of the tone of the song, but they don't have that echoey, creepy quality to them.
Right, yeah.
They ring out a little bit, but it's lighter as opposed to darker. It's a really cool contrast.
Yeah, it's like at the beginning of the song, you want to kill yourself, and then you get to the chorus and change your mind.
Yep.
You know?
Hey, maybe working at Burger King ain't so bad.
Nope. See, everything's better.
Yeah, I'm just trying to relate to your typical Alice in Chains fan here, but I guess I should have worn a flannel shirt.
You should have. I shouldn't have worn an Alice in Chains shirt, except I wore an AC/DC shirt. What an idiot.
I've got it. Well, Converse All-Star. I mean, they all wore a lot of Chuck Taylors.
Yeah. Yes, they did. Oh, he's really not coming back.
No, he really isn't. He must have made a boo-boo.
Boy.
Well, I saw it a little bit when he answered the phone the second time. He kind of was like, what? And then just threw his headphones off real quick and put the camera up and left. I didn't mention it because I figured he like had to go let her in the house or something. But yeah, clearly he's gone wherever he went.
Maybe he went to go pick her up at the airport. Who knows? Who the hell? Who knows? Whatever. This is fun.
It is. I like it. I think me and you got a real good rapport going back and forth with this. Yeah,
definitely. We just get off on rants.
Yeah.
It's fun. But all right, let's just finish this album up at least.
Okay.
So as far as this album goes, I didn't have much hope at all for this album. Like I said, I did not like the singles when I first heard them. I love Alice in Chains and didn't really care for the last album, The Devil Put the Dinosaurs Here. That was kind of boring to me. A few songs. Hollow was a good song, and there was another one. That was about it. I wasn't too excited. Oh, I already said that. Yeah, but after listening to this album for like the last 2-3 weeks or whatever it's been, it's probably one of my favorite Alice in Chains albums now. I would say definitely. It could easily go right after Dirt, I think. Maybe right after the what was it? Black Turn is the New Blue, whatever the fuck the name of it.
Yeah, Black Turns.
Something.
Black gives way to blue.
Yeah, something like that. I don't know why I keep forgetting it.
Now you got me doubting I know what it is anymore. I can't remember.
I'm half awake here. But yeah, it's a good. Oh, here he is. Nope, he's gone. Nope, he's back.
He was under the desk with the phone the whole time. I told you it was a 976 number.
Bill Clinton on the other side of that desk? I did not have sexual relations with that woman. Oh, that wasn't a woman. It was Chad. Oh, God. But, yeah, no, I would give this album, let's see. If up to 5 stars, I would give it about 4. Just because he got those 2 songs that, I could give or take. But definitely, I would say one of my favorite Alice in Chains albums. Definitely.
Oh, yeah. And I feel the same thing. I heard that the one you know first, and I wasn't real excited about it when I found out we were going to be doing this originally. But when you sent it to me and I listened to it that first time, I mean, it jumped out at me. It shocked me how good it was. And listening to it over the past 2 weeks, this is, I'd probably say about my 4th favorite record from them. I like it a little bit better than Sap and like Jar of Flies.
Right.
But not quite as much as Dirt, Facelift, and the South.
No, those first 2 albums. Those are classic albums.
Yeah,
you're not gonna get no better than those.
No, not at all. But the heaviness of the early days really comes back in this. It's
I think so. There's a lot of stuff that brings things back from the first 2 albums. Definitely, definitely hear them. And even there's even more like Lane things, like I said before with the other song with with Never Fade. No, was it Never Fade?
Yeah, Never Fade. We were talking. Yep, and the chorus.
Yeah, in the chorus and everything. Just a lot of Lane things on this album. Just really weird.
But yeah, like
Chains,
Fly. Yeah.
Yep.
And it works well. And there's a couple songs that are just bona fide classics. I think Never Fade, definitely. That's well, like I said, it's my favorite.
Yeah, my favorite too.
And that's a great song. Rainier Fog is another one I would call a classic. They really I wouldn't say knocked it out of the park, but they put out a really good, solid record. And I'd say 4 stars too. It does have those 2 throwaway songs, really, but overall, they don't hurt the flow of the album. It's not something that makes you want to turn it off.
Right. Definitely.
And, it's a good record. I definitely recommend it. It's one of their best.
Yeah, I think so too. Very good album. What do you think, Chad? No, nothing? Oh man, you know what? I just realized that I can't do the Ken thing.
We forgot. Yeah.
No, I didn't forget. I can't do it on here because it's not connected to the program. That would have been really funny. That would have been fucking hilarious when he would have went back to try to watch the show and saw his face pop up.
Just with talking lips.
Damn.
Dude, you know what would have been perfect if you could do his face and then cut out the mouth and animate it with the Rolling Stones lips.
I'm not a magician. I can't.
Not a magician.
No, that would be funny though. Damn, I really wanted to do that. Ruined it. Stupid Twitch.
Yeah.
Stupid volume. We really have to figure out what the hell I'm doing wrong. Because I hear you loud and clear, and I don't know why you wouldn't be coming through on Twitch. I mean, I watched a video how to set the whole thing up and put the cord here, put this there. I don't know what I'm doing wrong.
No, you know what though? I did notice you said you couldn't hear yourself. I hadn't really thought about this before, but it seems like on Zoom here, you yourself are muted, but you can hear the other participants.
Really?
Yeah, because I can't hear myself at all either. I don't. Chad, can you hear yourself?
That's a long phone call.
Put the lotion in the basket.
He's getting beat right now. I'm sorry.
I didn't mean to burn the roast.
Oh, God. Well, what else is up? What else is going on?
Not much. I had the day off. I really don't want to go back to work tomorrow, but
yeah, I'm off tomorrow. My day off.
Nice.
Yep, get to spend it with my child. I don't know what the hell we're gonna do. Hopefully the weather's nicer. It's been so shitty here. The heat has been unbearable. Humidity.
Oh, really?
Yeah. We had a day or two where it's kind of cooled off a little bit, but the humidity just comes right back.
It hasn't been so much humid here lately, and past 2 days it's been dreary and rainy and nasty out. But it was just so damn hot from all that wind, I guess, coming down from the wildfires in Oregon and California and British Columbia. You know, Minneapolis just sits at the bottom of that jet stream.
Right.
So it was 92 degrees for like 2 weeks solid.
That's crazy. Yeah, one side of the United States is on fire. The other side is flooded.
Yeah. Yeah.
Crazy.
And, I don't know about Florida now, but they had that red tide really bad, too. Everything's been messed up this year.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's a situation, on the Gulf Coast, not on the Atlantic Ocean, but, this red type of algae grows over top of the water and just kills all the fish and everything underneath of it because it soaks up all the sun and blocks the oxygen.
Right, yeah. I think I remember reading something about that recently. Yeah.
Right now, it's been covering almost like the whole Gulf for a couple months now. And there's just so many fish and stuff that have died.
Wow. That's scary, you know?
It really makes you wonder what the fuck they're dumping in the water, though, that does that type of stuff.
It really does. What starts that? Any idea?
Nitrogen, actually. But yeah, believe it or not, I know a lot about this from working in the hardware stores and selling fertilizer because a lot of commercial grade stuff, people wonder why they can't get it. Like, why does things look so much greener when the lawn service does my lawn? It's because nitrogen and a lot of those phosphates, they're real damaging when they get into natural waterways and stuff in that high concentration. So if you don't know what you're doing, they don't want you using it.
Right, yeah, definitely. Crazy stuff.
Yeah, because the stuff in and of itself won't really kill the fish if they eat it directly, but it lets the bacteria and the algae grow, and then it just chokes off all the food supply. And eats all the oxygen in the water and stuff, too.
It's not good. That's why we get our food from China.
Yes.
Bastards. Ugh. I guess he's not coming back. What?
There's this really old Jell-O commercial from like the late 50s. And the whole commercial is them feeding it to this really stereotypical Asian baby in this high chair. And they're like, Chinese baby like Jell-O. Like this was a real commercial. Like what the fuck was going on in the 50s, man? Like,
there's a lot of weird. There was a weird commercial I saw the other day. I think it was like a Japanese or Chinese one. It was something about like keeping secrets or something from each other, like two people. And this one guy had like a mouth on the back of his neck. And he had like a candy bar or whatever, and he was hiding it from his girlfriend. So she comes in the room and she's like looking for the candy bar, and she's like, where to go? Kind of, whatever.
That's
and
odd.
meanwhile, it's sticking out of his back, and he's eating it. Like, I don't even understand that.
I guess their horror movies have started to seep into their commercials too.
I guess so. Yeah, I guess he's not coming back.
Yeah, I guess not. We'll have to cut it here, probably.
Bastard. That's it. There he goes again. Oh, there he's back again. That's too funny.
That son of a bitch.
That's it. He's fired. He is so
Yep.
fired.
You're so fired. Lusky, get your shit and get out. You're done.
If he ever comes back, he's fired. God.
Have to send him the Donald Trump meme next.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna. All right. Well, this was fun.
Yeah, it was.
Next week will probably just be me and you.
Yeah. Well, what album do we want to do? Do we even know yet? Or?
I don't know, because Ken mentioned something. I have never even heard of that before.
Yeah, I didn't listen to that video yet, but I did see he suggested it. Chad never really said anything besides The Cure, but I don't believe The Cure have put out an album recently.
No, aren't they gone?
I thought so.
I don't think they're no more.
I don't think so.
Can't be depressed that long, can you?
No. I mean, no, wait, he didn't get over it. He killed himself. I was going to say the guy from Christian Death finally got over it, but no, he didn't.
Whatever. I don't know. We'll talk about it in the chat, I guess, and see what everybody wants to do.
Okay. Sounds good to me.
And then I'll use that thing that Ken showed me with the little, whatever it does. I guess picks randomly.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That works. I was going to go, each person does their own thing, but whatever.
Yeah, that works for me. And, well, I mean, no, I get what you're saying. Switching off.
Yeah. I just didn't want it to be like picking my album every week, and then it looks like I'm doing it. You know what I'm saying? Not that I would mind.
No, I totally get what you're saying, and I was thinking the same thing. But I still think your initial idea of somebody makes their pick this week, works better than the voting thing. But I don't know. Whatever.
Yeah, we'll see how this thing works.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I will end this, and we will see you guys next week.
Yep, when hopefully there's more than just us.
There should be 4 people next week. If there isn't, I don't know what to tell you. But, all right, we'll see you guys next week, and go to, let's see, was it facebook.com? I don't know if it's even Rat Salad Review. It might be facebook.com/Rat Salad Review. Yeah. And it's also twitch.tv/Rat Salad Review. And also youtube.com/Rat Salad Review.
Oh, moving up in the world, we got YouTube now.
Yeah. YouTube's kind of the thing to go to because last time the Twitch thing was like all choppy. Which could be this time, but we'll see what happens.
And since we'll probably never get to talk about this again, I will say definitely check out this Maniacal Force, though.
Oh, yeah. Send me a link to it or whatever.
I'll send it to you.
Send it to me. Put that on the list.
Indeed, I will, along with Bewitcher, which is probably sitting here, too.
Oh, yeah. Keep talking about that one, too. I'd show you the Ram album, but it's back there somewhere, and I'm not getting up.
Now, the only other thing I have over here is this, but this is most assuredly not recent.
That looks familiar, but yeah, that doesn't look recent at all.
Yeah, Zentrix, Ghostbusters.
What year is that from?
89, 90.
Yeah, it's not recent at all. All right, so that will conclude the debut episode of Rat Salad Review. And for Greg, I am Wayne. And
Mr. Poofed cannot be with us tonight.
Nope. And that's it. We're out.
Yep.
And it doesn't matter what Chad thinks about the Alice in Chains album, I guess.
I guess not. No,
Who cares? I was gonna let him promote his book too, but forget it now.
Yep. No, he's done.
Done. Forget that book. All right. Adios, everybody. See you next week.
Oh, yeah.